Hello aspirants, welcome to GS Score. Myself Ashutosh, and today we are going to discuss art and culture through current affairs MCQs. Aspirants, as you all know, that Prelims 2023 is nearby and GS Score is conducting an all India PT mock test simulated in UPSC environment, and you can scan this QR code, and for further information you can go to the website. Fine. So let's begin our session. First question. The excavation by Archaeological Survey of India in Gotripolu indicates it as a trade center of early historic period. Gotripolu lies in which of the following states? Aspirants, as you know, the news related with excavations done by the Archaeological Survey of India constantly dominate the space in current affairs, and this makes our approach very familiar to understand the current affairs and the related sites and what were the excavations and what were the findings in those excavations. That makes it very important from the prelims point of view. So coming on to the topic, we have to identify the Gotripolu lies in which of the following state. First, we will see the location of Gotripolu. This Gotripolu lies on the right bank of river called Swarnamukhi. This river Swarnamukhi is in the Eastern Ghats. In the hills of Eastern Ghat, the river rises, and it's near the district Tirupati district. It's in the Tirupati district. So as you all know, the Tirupati lies in Andhra Pradesh. So it makes our answer Andhra Pradesh. One interesting fact about this river Swarnamukhi, that it holds in its river basin a famous pilgrimage site of Tirumala. Fine. And this river Swarnamukhi, which rises in Eastern Ghats, flows toward the Bay of Bengal. Next, coming on the excavations. The excavations at the site reveals some interesting features with regard to findings. First of all, I would like you to look at some of the figures. The first figure we can see is of the brick structures, and the second is of habitations. Using the drones, archaeologists find this kind of settlement in Gotripolu, and with regard to this structure, archaeologists have found that the structure is having brick made from the bricks, and these bricks, as you can see, follow a cylindrical and circular sizes, which also indicates that this habitation was very much similar. The structure of brick and the habitation is very much similar to the Satavahanas. Of course, Satavahanas were in the Anno Domini, but the structures reveals that this was an ancient civilization, and along with this, it also has we also found some excavations, some potteries. We find some potteries and some conical jars. Besides, we also find some evidences of terracotta pipes, and these pipes were found to be fitted into one another, and it shows that there were some civic amenities and also a presence of some drainage pattern. So as you can see from the findings, there is a habitation, a good planned settlement, having brick structure in the conical shape, circular shapes, which indicates the bricks also indicates the similarity with Satvahana and Ishkbahu's period. Further, we find the terracotta pipes, which show the civic amenities and a particular drainage pattern. Besides, we find this life-size image of Lord Vishnu, which indicates the religiosity of the population which were inhabiting in that area. Fine. So, we conclude this first question that our answer would be Andhra Pradesh. Further, we have seen the excavations and the findings. Now, coming to the second question. The second question is about the Suranga Bavadi. Bavadi, as you all know, is some kind of water conservation. Fine. So, question is, Suranga Bavadi was recently inducted in the World Monument Watch List. In this context, consider the following statements. Fine. The first statement is, Suranga Bavadi is a part of the Karas system of supplying water through subterranean tunnels. With regard to the first statement, first we will look what is the Karas system. The Karas system is a system of water harvesting, or it's a system of harnessing the water through technology. What is this technology? In ancient and medieval times, where there was a scarcity of water, people began using, and the kings or emperors began using the groundwater for drinking irrigation purposes. And in that context, this Karas system became important. Its origin is in Persia. It's of the Persian origin. You can also see some kind of Karas system in Afghanistan, in today's Afghanistan. This Suranga Bavadi is a part of the Karas system. How this Karas system works? Now, the Karas system basically taps into the groundwater. Fine. How it does? Suppose there is a land area with a slope towards it, and the Karas system, in the system, a shaft is being lit in a vertical manner, and by using the gravity, it transfers the water to the tunnels. Fine. So it taps into groundwater sources and transport it through an underground tunnel to the settlements. In that process, it ending in the surface canal or pools in the villages for various uses of drinking water, washing, watering the livestock, etc. Fine. So this Karas system is a very unique system, having the presence during the era of medieval India in the medieval times during the Bijapur Sultanate. Fine. And it was in origin was in Persia. Fine. So this makes our first statement correct, that the Karas system, the Suranga Bavadi, is a part of the Karas system supplying water to subterranean tunnels. The second statement says that it was built by the Ibrahim Adil Shah of 2. No, that's incorrect. Fine. Why incorrect? Because it was built by Ibrahim Adil Shah 1 and not 2. Fine. It was built during the Adil Shahi era in the Bijapur, which is now in Karnataka, state of Karnataka. So this makes our second statement incorrect. The third statement is, World Monument Watch is a biennial selection of at-risk cultural heritage sites by UNESCO. No, this is also wrong. It's not UNESCO, but the World Monument Watch is a kind of private NGO which identifies the cultural heritage site which are facing the risk, and this monument watch is being released under World Monument Fund. This World Monument Fund was established in the year 1965, and this World Monument Watch was established in the year 1995. Fine. So you must remember that this is not released by UNESCO, but World Monument Fund to preserve the cultural heritage sites, and it select those sites which are at the risk. Fine. So our answer will be, as we have to identify the incorrect statement, our answer will be 2 and 3, as 2 and 3 are the incorrect statement, and the first is correct, as the Kata system was a kind of water harnessing technology, tapping into the groundwater and transferring it to the tunnels. That's why subterranean tunnels. Fine. Let's move on to the third question. The third question asks us that the Kumbha Abhishekam ceremony at the Sri Brihadrasura temple is being witnessed in which of the state of India? As you all know, that Kumbha Abhishekam is a kind of consecration ceremony or the sanctifying ceremony of temples or divinities. Fine. And the Sri Brihadrasura temple is in a state of Tamil Nadu. So we found our answer from the Tamil Nadu. But we should understand this concept of Kumbha Abhishekam in a very briefly manner. This Kumbha Abhishekam, according to the Hindu rituals, Hindu traditional rituals, it must happen every 12 years. Fine. And in this Kumbha Abhishekam, the deities are sanctified, and this happening at the Sri Brihadrasura temple after 24 years, almost 23 years in fact. It happened last year. But why we have included in this our session, due to the nature of UPSC questions, that it goes 1.5 years to 2 years back to ask the questions, and this, as the temple is Sri Brihadrasura temple, so it became more significant for our session. Fine. So we can see that Kumbha Abhishekam ceremony is happening after 23 years, was happened after 23 years, and according to the Hindu religious and charitable endowments is an organization, it says that Kumbha Abhishekam at this temple only happened till now 6 times only. The first was in 1010 AD, the second was in 1729, the third was in 1843, then 1980, and then 1997. So it gains some significance because it happened in the year 2022, in the last months of year 2020. Fine. Let's see about this temple and inform. So as you know, the Sri Brihadrasura temple is a temple in Tamil Nadu, and it was built by Chola Emperor Raja Chola. The temple was built between 1003 AD to 1010 AD, and the period of this king Raja Chola was was between 1985 to 1014 AD. Fine. This is very useful information from the perspective of prelims examination. Fine. And this Brihadrasura temple is also a part of UNESCO World Heritage Site. Fine. This temple is also included in the list of living Chola temples. This living Chola temples, beside this Brihadrasura temple, also included the temple of Gangai Konda Cholapuram, Gangai Konda Cholapuram, and Araviteshwara temple. Araviteshwara temple. Fine. So these 3 temples were included in the UNESCO World Heritage Site list, and these are also called the living Chola temples. The temple was built by Chola King Raja Chola, and it was the building of the era was between this period. Fine. So our answer is Tamil Nadu. Let's move on to the next question. With reference to Lakhan Khol, consider the following statements. Fine. Let's read the statement. The dance drama mask theatre is from Singapore. No, it's not from Singapore, but from Cambodia. This Lakhan Khol is a form of dance drama mask theatre. It's a performing art which is being performed in the in Cambodia, and it has also been included in the very recently intangible culture heritage by the UNESCO. So this second statement is correct. The third statement, the different variations of this dance form are performed in Southeast Asia, which depict the story of Ramayana. Yes, this is also correct. So our the correct option would be 2 and 3. Fine. But first, let's understand some very interesting facts about this Lakhan Khol dance drama theatre performance. It happens in the Cambodia, and it also depicts the tradition of Indian culture or the myths and epics being transferred in the Southeast Asian nations. It's a part of that. Fine. Besides this Cambodian performing art, its sister art we can see in Thailand. In Thailand, we find such performance by the name of Khon Mask Theatre. Fine. And these are included in the intangible cultural heritage sites. Fine. This intangible means that besides the brick and mortar form of art and architecture, some kind of cultural heritage in the form of performing art, songs, traditions, or oral traditions has to be conserved so that it can be transferred from the generation to generations, and it forms our part of very interesting world heritage and cultural sites which is being released by the UNESCO. So coming on the third statement, that the themes are being chosen from the Ramayana. As you all know that Ramayana stories and epics were transferred from India to the Southeast Asian nation, and the Ramayana is known by the name of Rayam Khair. The Rayam Khair is mainly the stories drawn from the Ramayana. So this makes our statement 2 and 3 correct, and our answer would be 2 and 3, that is B option. Fine. So let's move to the next question. The next question is also very interesting one, that asks the Chapahar Kut. Chapahar Kut is an annual harvest festival that transcends gender and age boundaries and is celebrated in which of the following Union states? Aspirants, as you all know, in India, we celebrate the arrival of our seasons in a very festive mood. Fine. So we have 2 seasons of sowing and harvesting. So this Chahapar Kut is an annual harvest festival of the state of Mizoram. The answer would be D, state of Mizoram. This Chahapar Kut, the harvest festival, is an annual festival in the month of March, and in this festival the bamboo are cut and burnt. They were burnt, and then so that they can be used in the jhum cultivation. During this festival in March, bamboo trees are cut and burned so that they can be used in jhum cultivation. And as you are aware, the slash and burn cultivation, the form of cultivation, is used in the mostly in the northeastern states of India. And this Chahapar Kut gains significance in that sense that it's not only a simple harvest festival but also includes some gender and age bound, regardless of gender and age boundaries, is celebrated in the state of Mizoram. Besides this Chahapar Kut, we also have a festival known as Mimkut, which happens in the month of August. Fine. So we'll complete this question here, and we will move on to the next question that says that we have to consider the following statement regarding the Sun Temple at Martand. Fine. Sun Temple at Martand. As you all know, in India we have some good number of sun temples which are very famous, and the Martand is one among them. Fine. So let's read the first statement. And it was the temple was in news also, because in some at some point of time some devotees offered prayer here, and ASI has said that it's not a living temple, so it's only for the conservation, and some prayers and devotion activities are not allowed here. Fine. So look at the first statement. It is one of the earliest known sun temples and is much older than the sun temple at Konark. Fine. So this statement is correct one. It is located in Jammu and Kashmir. It is also correct in the Anantnag Valley. It's also correct, but what we have to identify incorrect. So our answer would be neither 1 nor 2. None of them are the incorrect. Both are the correct statement. So let's first understand and learn some of the facts from the prelims point of view with regard to this temple. Fine. This Sun Temple at Martand, is in the Anantnag in Kashmir Valley. A king named by Lalitaditya Muktapida is stated to have been built this temple in 8th century AD. So we'll see this earliest known because it has been built in the 8th AD by a king called Lalitaditya Muktapida, and as you all know, Konark was built in the year 1250 AD by Narsimdev, one of the Eastern Ganga dynasty. Konark temple was built by the Eastern Ganga dynasty king Narsimdeva I in year 1250, and UPSC has previously asked some question on this Konark temple. So let's move on to this point. The Lalitaditya Mukta Pida was a king from the Karakota dynasty. He was a king from the Karakota dynasty. Fine. And information is being provided about this temple and the king by Kalhana in his Raj Tarangani. In the Raj Tarangani, Kalhan has said that this king Lalitaditya Muktapida was a conqueror, and he built this temple in the Martand. Sun Temple at Martand was built by him, and his years of ruling was from 724 to 761 AD. Fine. So from prelims point of view, we have seen about the formation years and the king associated, and who gives the information. Kalhana in his Raj Tarangani gives us information regarding the king and the temple. Fine. So let's move on to our next question. One thing more important I would like to add here in this Sun Temple Martand is also a very significant example. Of a confluence or some vivid picturization of the forms of some Gandhara, Chinese and Gupta architecture. Fine. We can see that these Gandhara, Chinese and Gupta architecture forms is reflected in the Sun Temple at Martand. Let's move on to the next question. It says about the bronze sculpture of Nataraja. With reference to the bronze sculpture of Nataraja comes the following statement. The first statement is the Shiva in this sculpture is associated with the end of the cosmic world. Shiva, the second statement, the Shiva is depicted as suppressing the ignorance of an individual. The third statement is the Bhujanga Trista stance of Shiva implies the kicking away of illusion from the devotee's mind. Well, all of these statements are correct. So it makes the answer 1, 2, 3. We'll see how the statements are correct. Fine. As you all know, this Nataraja first unearthed during the Chola period, the bronze sculpture from the Chola is very significant in terms of the Nataraja depiction. Fine. It's a form of cosmic dance. Cosmic dance. Fine. By the Lord of all. Fine. Now you can see that in this cosmic dance, Nataraja has been depicted as holding a damru. The damru means creation. From the sound of damru, the whole world was created. But in his upper left hand, you can see that he is holding a fire, and fire denotes the destruction. This fire denotes the destruction, and that makes our first statement correct, that end of the cosmic world. Fine. In the next statement, we can see that is depicted as suppressing the ignorance of an individual. Yes. You can see Shiva is placing his one of the foot on the dwarf, and dwarf represent the illusion, the ignorance of an individual. And Shiva in this cosmic dance form signifies that this illusion is being destroyed by having a feet of Shiva, and you can go into his conscience and you can attain the liberation from the illusion and ignorance. So this dwarf is being represented as crushing by the feet of the Shiva, as crushing of the ignorance of the individual. That makes our second statement also correct. The third statement is Bhujanga Trista stands. Now you can see in the picture this Bhujanga Trista, the serpent is being depicted here, and the serpent represent the very famous Kundalini Shakti. When this Kundalini Shakti is aroused, it means that the devotee is also free from the ignorance and illusions, and this represents a very significant aspect of Hinduism tradition depicted through the Nataraja dance, that this Kundalini Shakti has to be awakened from the minds of the individual, and it will kill away the illusion from the mind. So this Shiva in the form of cosmic dance has been represented as killing of the ignorance, illusion, and the end of the cosmic world, the creation of the cosmic world. And it's the part of the very vivid and very huge kind of sculpture traditions from the Chola period represented in the bronze. In the times and time again, you must have seen some news regarding the Chola sculpture or bronze sculpture of Nataraja being returned by some countries or is being smuggled. So this kind of news gained significance from the prelims point of view, that it can be asked in the question. So our correct option will be 1, 2, and 3. Let's move on to the next question. Which of the following are among the key findings at the Kilari excavation? It's very important from the prelims point of view for this year 2023. As you know, the Kilari was a site started excavating in the year 2015, but nowadays it gained prominence as this site was said to be earlier, and it pushed the date of Sangamera further 6th century BC. That its site is very older than the assumed picturization of its antiquity. So due to these excavations, this Kilari gained prominence for this year, and we'll look into the options that what are the key findings we found. Brick structure, yes, we found them. Iron implements, yes, and Tamil Brahmari script. that the correct ones would be 1, 2, and 3. So let's see from the brick structure what we found, or similar things what we found from uh, here. Here we find that evidences of long walls. We find evidences of long walls, some terracotta ring veils. Some terracotta ring veils were found. Besides, we also found some roofing in floors led by ancient material. The floors were very well lit in a design manner. Well lit floors in a design manner. Besides, we also we found some spindle wool, and it denotes that this was a very thriving civilization. Further, we find some potteries and terracotta wares. Terracotta wares. Fine. So these are the findings, and which are mainly made of the bricks. Second is iron implement. We also found some iron implement in the form of nails, which were given in the walls, which were fixed in the walls. And then Tamil Brahmani script. This Tamil Brahmani script were found in the on the potteries in a two-way. The first way was when it was wet, the Tamil Brahmani script was inscribed on that, and the other one when the pottery were dry. So this Tamil Brahmani script were inscribed on them, and this shows that the presence of literacy presents, or some kind of literature were present during that time, and this makes the Kilari excavation very significant from the aspect of it pushes the age of the civilization further down the line. Fine. So these are the main points which we have discussed here. Further, we can see that all of the statement are correct. So we have marked answer 1, 2, and 3. And from the prelims point of view, this question and the Kilari excavation very, very important. And we have discussed the excavated materials, that long walls, terracotta walls, and ring veils, roofing, flooring, and the floors were well laid. And it pushed further the age of Sangam civilization. And we also found some potteries which were inscribed by Tamil Brahmani script. So let's move on the next question. The next question is about the Sikhism. This also become very important from the prelims point of view. Why? Because we have seen some news regarding Sikhism or the Khalsa Panth or the Khalsa movement. So this gains significance. So let's read the statement here. The Adi Granth, the first rendition of the Guru Granth Sahib, was compiled by Guru Arjan Dev, and that statement is very, very correct. That yes, Arjan Dev was the fifth Guru. Arjan Dev was the fifth Guru. Fine. And he compiled the Adi Granth. He compiled the Adi Granth in the form of Guru Granth Sahib, and this Guru Granth Sahib is also regarded as a living entity. Is also regarded as a living entity. And further, the next statement, this statement is correct. The other statement here is the first Takht was established by Guru Har Gobind in Amritsar. That is also very correct. The Takht was established by Guru Har Gobind. This Takht is a form of having genesis from the Akal Takht. Related with Akal Takht. What is the Akal Takht? Akal Takht in Sikhism denotes a place of justice. It denotes a place of justice and solve out the issues. Besides, it's also the highest seat of Khalsa. It's very important to know. It's also the highest seat of Khalsa. Fine. As you must have seen that we have seen in news that Khalsa was called and Akal Takht was addressed. So this makes our information very much aligned with the prelims point of view. Fine. One thing very important here that we must know, that Akal Takht beside the place of justice is also highest seat of Khalsa. Fine. There is also a concept known as Jathedar. The Jathedar is the highest spokesperson from the Sikh community. Fine. Let's move on to our next question. That is on the very significant news piece which was seen recently in the state of Jharkhand. In the month of January, this news piece was seen that the resident of Jharkhand, state of Jharkhand, were opposing a move to make this Samet Sikhar a tourism destination. So we'll see the statement first, then we'll move to the aspect of understanding the importance of Samet Sikhar. The first statement is situated on the Parasnath Hill, the highest mountain in the state of Jharkhand. It's correct statement because it is on the Samet Sikhar is on the Parasnath Hill in the state of Jharkhand. Fine. The next statement is, it is a location where all 24 Jain Tirthakaras obtained moksha or the liberation, and the site is considered most sacred Jain pilgrimage site by Digambara sect. Well, this statement is not correct. Why is not correct? It's not 24 but only 20 of the Jain Tirthakaras have obtained the moksha, and not only by Digambara but Shwetambar also, being regarded sacred by both Digambara and Shwetambar sects. Fine. Next is a palm leaf manuscript of the Kalpa Sutra and the Kalak Acharya Katha provides illustration of Parshavnath Nirvanayat Shikharji. Well, this statement is correct. Fine. Now, when we have to choose the two statement from the, we have to choose correct options, and that makes the option 1 and 3, the C option, correct. We will see about this Samet Sikhar and most important information with regard to literary evidences. The Kalpa Sutra is a Jain text. The Kalpa Sutra is a Jain text which contains the biography of Parshavnath and Bhagwan Vardhaman Mahavira, and these were the 23rd and 24th Jain Tirthakaras respectively. Fine. So this Kalpa Sutra is a Jain text which provides the information through the biographies of Parshavnath and Vardhaman Mahavir, and the palm leaf manuscript from the Kalpa Sutra is also reflecting that this Samet Sikhar was the place where Parshavnath has attained moksha. The next is Kalak Acharya Katha. This Kalak Acharya Katha is a part of non-canonical text. It means non-religious text. It's a part of non-canonical text which is a work of Shwetambara sect, which is the work of Shwetambara sect, the white clad Shwetambara sect, and it also shows that this Parshavnath, there's a Guru Parshavnath has attained the moksha on this Samet Sikhar. So that makes our answer 1 and 3 only, because not 24 but 20 of the Jain Tirthakaras have attained the moksha, and it considered both by Digambara and Shwetambar sect as a very sacred. And the palm leaves manuscript of Kalpa Sutra, which is a biography of Parshavnath and Mahavir, and Kalakacharya shows that Vardhaman, the Parshavnath has attained the moksha on this Samet Sikhar. Fine. So we will end our session here, and we'll meet in the next class. One thing important I will say here, that trade center, it was a trade center. Gotripalu is a trade center. Why? Because as you can see, this is on the right bank of river Swarnamukhi, and there was a maritime trade. And there was a maritime trade which was going on the site, and this makes through the known excavation that this was a thriving maritime trade, and it shows that it has a trade center through the excavations and being very close to the maritime route. Thank you very much. We'll meet in the next class.